The story will be told from the perspective of the main female character.
The Silver Peak Lodge's large exterior shone with cold white light. It sat deep within the snowy mountains of Park City. I used to walk by those velvet ropes looking down. Nobody who worked there or visited noticed me. Now, I secretly held a 22% share in the group that owned the place. I looked at my phone before entering. I had 4 missed calls from my father. My mother had sent several text messages. The last message made me angry. "Don't wear anything strange tonight, Aubrey." Mom wrote, "The Stantons are coming. Please remember last year. Do not mention your tech business." My tech business? I smiled slightly, putting the phone into my small clutch bag. My bag was custom made. The business in question was Nexus Solutions. It was the AI company I started in a small 600 SQ-FT co-working space back in Salt Lake City. We recently closed a government defense contract for $300 million. $2 months ago, Fortune listed me in their top 40 people under 40. I had kept my identity private using shell companies and staying completely silent. I wasn't embarrassed. I just wanted to build my company without my parents judging me or getting involved. Tonight, I was done hiding. As the elevator went up, I thought about 4 years ago. I was 25 then. I tried to explain my startup to my father during Christmas dinner. "Machine learning," he had laughed. "That is a hobby, Aubrey, not a career. You are wasting your potential." My mother chimed in. "The Stantons are hearing an assistant VP. You are lucky they even looked at your resume." I packed up my things and left the next morning. I did not say goodbye. I stopped going home after that holiday. I mailed cards for birthdays or funerals but never appeared. I let them believe I was poor and struggling to find a job. That was exactly what I wanted. The first 2 years were difficult. I coded all weekend and slept on an air mattress in a shared basement. Investors patted my head. They said I was very driven for a woman. I knew exactly what I was building. I saw a future they were too old-fashioned to imagine. Companies needed digital change, but the tools available were slow, expensive, and designed for the past. Nexus Solutions fixed that. My platform delivered adaptive AI-driven solutions. It scaled easily for any business, from small startups to massive corporations. 6 months in, I got my first large client, a regional hotel chain. They wanted to upgrade everything from inventory to guest services. I delivered the project early and under budget. Word spread fast. The momentum grew quickly. By year 2, I had 30 employees and 2 other offices. By year 3, we passed $100 million in revenue. Now, at 29, I sit on advisory boards. I get acquisition offers every week. I quietly reject proposals from the same people who once laughed at me. The elevator doors opened. I heard the holiday music and saw the bright light of Park City's elite gathered in the main ballroom. Chandeliers sparkled over expensive suits and sequin dresses. A string quartet played a festive song. My eyes found them right away. My mother wore a cherry-red dress from last year's designer collection. She tried to appear relaxed, but had clearly spent hours getting ready. My father stood with older men, using big hand gestures. His voice was loud and confident. He was probably sharing one of his back-in-my-day business stories. "Aubrey," my mother's voice cut through the noise. Her smile was forced and tight. She crossed the floor quickly, her pearl necklace bouncing. "You are late." I leaned in and kissed her cheek. "Traffic," I said. Her eyes examined my clothes. "Is that Chanel?" she asked, sounding almost doubtful. "Custom," I replied simply. She frowned, not hiding it well. "Never mind. Just be careful tonight. Sterling Corp is sending their CEO. Your father has worked on this deal for months. Please do not talk about your tech stuff if anyone asks. Say you work in business development." My father joined us just then. He immediately scowled at my bare neck. "You could have worn some jewelry. Presentation is crucial in real business." He stressed the word real, as always. "How is the little website thing going?" he asked, looking over my shoulder already. "Peterson's son just became a junior partner. He asked about you. There's still time to switch to a proper job. I took a glass of sparkling water from a waiter, almost grinning. Dad, I said. He pitched Nexus Solutions last month. We declined. Their system was not modern enough. If he only knew the truth. Robert Sterling had signed a deal with Nexus Solutions last week. It was a $55 million contract. I led those negotiations personally. The contract would completely change Sterling Corp's digital architecture for the next decade. The ballroom was almost full, a glittering scene of the wealthy winter crowd. I saw many familiar faces, VCs, board members, and executives. Half of them had tried to sell me something at some point. Some were successful, most were not. None of them knew I was that Aubrey Denton. I liked keeping it that way. Oh God, he is here, my mother gasped, gripping my father's arm. George, Mr. Sterling just arrived. I turned as Robert Sterling entered with a small group. He wore a sharp suit, walked confidently, and looked younger than most CEOs here. He was smart enough to skip the old consultants and come straight to us. My parents practically ran across the room, wearing practiced smiles. Mr. Sterling, my mother said, her voice overly sweet. We are so honored you came tonight. Robert offered a polite handshake. He scanned the room, distracted, until his eyes met mine. He instantly recognized me. Aubrey, he called out, walking right past my stunned parents. It is fantastic to see you again, Chief Executive. Heads turned. The proposal last week was incredible. The board has not stopped talking about it. A sharp cracking noise broke the silence. My father's champagne glass shattered at his feet. The liquid soaked his expensive shoes. My mother's smile looked fragile. Chief Executive, she repeated, barely whispering. This was the exact moment I had imagined during my loneliest, most determined nights. Reality was better than the fantasy. Robert clapped a hand on my shoulder. Everyone, he said, raising his voice slightly. Let me tell you, we are incredibly fortunate to have Nexus Solutions leading our digital overhaul. The vision Aubrey has created, billion-dollar scale. The rising conversations immediately stopped. Every eye turned toward us. My mother looked frozen, her lips trembling with disbelief. My father stared, trying to replay the last 10 seconds in his mind. I took a long, calm sip of water. Thank you, Robert, I said smoothly. I am thrilled to be partnering with you. The truth was out now. It was not implied or whispered. It was broadcasted. And this was just the start. Tonight, I was not just revealing who I was about to show them what I had actually become. The next few minutes were a choreographed mess. My father's mouth moved open and shut like a fish needing air. My mother clutched her chest. Her other hand reached frantically for a chair nearby. Her composure broke, just like the ice in her untouched champagne. There must be some mistake, my father finally mumbled. His voice was weak. Our Aubrey, she operates a tiny website thing from her place. She is not. He finally looked at me, truly looked, for the first time in years. In that instant, I saw the painful realization hit him, like a storm he couldn't escape. Robert Sterling was still oblivious to the family drama behind him. He pressed on, smiling widely. Tiny, Nexus Solutions is rewriting the industry rules. Aubrey's AI integration platform alone will transform supply chains nationwide. That demo she gave us last week, honestly, I have never seen technology move so fast. A crowd was forming, sensing drama far more interesting than holiday appetizers and polite chat. I spotted Sarah Chen, CEO of Mid-Atlantic Trust. She smiled the moment she saw me. Aubrey, honey, I didn't expect you here. Still won't rethink my offer, she asked, winking. Then she turned to my parents. You must be so proud. Your daughter's company is currently Silicon Valley's obsession. Turning down that $2.2 billion buyout offer. Legendary. My mother sank into the chair with a quiet thud. $2.2 billion, she whispered. Color drained from her face. I could almost see her recalling every memory, every dismissing comment about my ambition, every lecture about finding a proper career. every time they treated me like a reckless failure. My father looked like he had swallowed something sour. "No one will take you seriously in business," he had told me last Thanksgiving. "You are embarrassing yourself." Now, the embarrassment belonged entirely to them. Daniel Hughes, CEO of Coastal Health Systems, stepped forward. "Nexus rebuilt our system last year," he announced proudly. "Efficiency went up 300%, best partnership we ever made." Then came Chloe Davis, the tech journalist. "Remember the Children's Tech Education Fund Gala? That $11 million anonymous donation? It was Aubrey. We can finally name our mysterious benefactor." My father pulled at his collar like it was choking him. His eyes darted between the faces, the different stories, the mounting evidence that everything he believed about me had just shattered. Want to see how Aubrey finally confronts her parents and what she does next? Hit subscribe so you don't miss the twist that changes everything. I retain the original break call to action for structure. For years, my father had lectured me about money management, while I secretly built an empire under his nose. "But your apartment," my mother gasped, clinging to her last bit of denial. "That small place." "Oh, you mean my office," I smiled gently. "The penthouse is just where I hold meetings when I'm in town. I actually own the building." I let the silence linger. "And the one next to it," I added. "Actually, most of this block." Right on cue, the Silver Peak Lodge manager appeared, bowing slightly. "Miss Denton, is everything fine? Should we get ready for the private dining suite you bought last winter for your company's holiday party?" My mother's mascara started to run beneath the weight of her shock. "Last year," she whispered, "when you said you couldn't afford to contribute to the family vacation." "I was somewhat busy," I said calmly, "acquiring our biggest rival and expanding into the European market." The memories were hitting them hard. My father's face twitched as he remembered every arrogant comment he made about other people's children. The lawyers, the consultants, the investment bankers. His so-called real professionals. My mother's hand shook, perhaps remembering every time she tried to set me up with a nice man who could take care of me. Robert Sterling raised his glass high. "A toast," he announced. "To Aubrey Denton, the youngest CEO to crack the Fortune 500 this year. A visionary who is not just shaping the future of technology, but leading it." Applause erupted. Glasses clinked. Camera flashes went off like fireworks. Tomorrow's headlines would read, "The mystery CEO behind Nexus Solutions steps into the spotlight." But I was not finished. I turned back to my parents, waiting for the applause to die down. "Remember last month, your firm's pension fund trouble?" I asked, keeping my voice level. "That anonymous investor who stepped in just in time." I paused, enjoying the silence. "You're welcome." My father's knees buckled. A waiter quickly helped him into a chair. "All those lectures," he muttered, "and you were building something bigger than I ever imagined." "Yes," I said simply. "And that's not even the best part." Robert reached into his briefcase and pulled out a leather folder. "Shall we tell them about the merger?" He grinned. The room leaned in closer. "Because Sterling Corp is not just becoming our client," I said, my voice clear as crystal. "As of next week," I stated clearly, "Sterling Corp will officially merge with Nexus Solutions." The murmurs grew louder. "And with that," I added, locking eyes with my father, "comes their controlling interest in Denton and Associates." Gasps spread across the room. His law firm, his 3-decade-old kingdom, was about to become a subsidiary of my company. "Which means," I smiled, letting the final weight settle, "starting Monday, I am not just your daughter, I am your boss." Stunned silence fell over the room. Somewhere in the background, a Christmas song about peace and happiness played like a joke from the universe. I took a slow sip of water. I felt no guilt, only a quiet, deep satisfaction. Maybe now, finally, they would be willing to talk to me as an equal. The next hour was a blur. Executives congratulated me, investors handed me business cards, and journalists pushed closer with questions. But at our table, my parents sat perfectly still, like expensive Christmas ornaments that had lost their shine. The party continued around them. Inside them, everything they believed had fallen apart. Eventually, the crowd thinned and the champagne trays disappeared. I walked back to their table. Every step across the ballroom felt significant. 5 short strides for 5 long years of being ignored, dismissed, and underestimated. "Should we talk?" I asked softly, taking the seat next to them. My mother's perfect makeup was now streaked with black tears. My father's tie was half undone. His proud, stiff posture was now slumped and broken. "Why didn't you tell us?" my mother whispered. I gave a short laugh. It wasn't bitter, just tired. "Tell you? Like when I tried to share news about my first contract, and you cut me off to brag about Mrs. Peterson's son making junior partner. Or when I explained my AI platform, and Dad said I was just playing with computers while real professionals worked." My father finally spoke. His voice was frail. "We were trying to protect you." "Protect me?" I leaned in steadily. "Let me tell you about protection. Remember Stephen Ford, your golf friend? He tried a hostile takeover last year, called me little girl in the boardroom." My father's face went white. "His company collapsed within months, lost every major contract. As for the Sutton Group, they tried to steal our encryption code. They do not exist anymore." I smiled faintly. "I bought them for pennies, then I sold off their assets." "That was you." My father's voice cracked into a whisper. "But that was a billion-dollar deal." I gave a small nod, drinking more water. "Actually, that was a minor acquisition, buried in last quarter's fine print." I let the statement hang. "While you were telling everyone I was finding myself, with a cute little computer hobby, I was scaling a tech empire. Every time you bragged about another person's kid landing a promotion or becoming a junior partner, I was closing deals that dwarfed their entire careers." My mother's hands were trembling now. She slowly reached for her purse as if it might shield her from what she was hearing. "The charity gala," she murmured. "The children's hospital wing we couldn't afford to sponsor. The Aubrey Denton Technology Center." I smiled. Anonymous donations are strange like that. "But why keep it secret?" my father demanded, a hint of his old demanding tone returning. "Why let us think?" "Think what, Dad?" I cut in gently. "That I was lost, that I needed your network, that I had to be saved." I put the glass down. I wanted to win on my terms. No family name, no easy way out, no favors, just merit. And guess what? I didn't just succeed. I completely disrupted the entire industry. The full weight of my success finally seemed to strike them both. Every lecture, every patronizing remark, every well-meaning dismissal, they were all exposed beneath the soft ballroom lights. The room around us disappeared. For a moment, we were only a broken family facing their reckoning. "The merger becomes public Monday," I said, changing my tone to business. "Denton and Associates will undergo a full digital transformation. We will streamline operations, modernize the systems, you know." I smiled faintly. "All those things you once told me I would never understand." My father swallowed hard. "What happens to us?" "That depends," I replied, folding my hands calmly. "You have 2 options. Option 1, early retirement, generous packages, full benefits. You can golf, travel, finally relax. Option 2, stay on. But understand that everything changes. You will report to people half your age. You will learn systems you don't yet grasp. You will adapt to a future you once dismissed." I paused. "Either way, I win. But if you are ready to respect me, not just as your daughter, but as a leader, maybe we can win together. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. If my story resonated, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment, not just for me, but for every person who's ever been underestimated, overlooked, or told to be realistic. Share your advice, your battles, your wins. Let's build each other up. And if there's one thing I hope you carry forward, it's this. Never wait for permission to become who you're meant to be. You don't need approval. You need vision, grit, and a refusal to quit. Subscribe. Stay connected. The next chapter is just beginning.